Alrighty, guys. So today we're actually going to go ahead and start with exploring Adobe Illustrator. And we're going to first start with learning how to create new documents. So go ahead and open up your software if you haven't done so already. And let's get started. And so today's video, I'm going to show you how to set those appropriate document settings for print and on-screen artwork. So this is my Adobe Illustrator home screen here. And as you can see, I have some documents in my cloud. And then I have these information over here. So to create a new document, you can do this a few different ways. You can click on Create New here, or you can go all the way to the top, click on File, and you can click on New. So those are two ways that you can create that new document. A third way, if you are anything like me and like to use shortcut keys, you can use your shortcut key to create a new document. So for a Mac, that shortcut key is that Command N. I believe for Windows, it's Control N. And so if you're not sure, if you just go all the way to the top and you look over to next to where it says New, it'll tell you what that shortcut key is. So I'll go ahead and create the new document. And so here is my new document window here. And it has a lot of information in this little section. So let's get started. So in this little section here, these are my recent items. So these are the recent types of documents that I've used and created. I also have some templates here that I've gotten from the Adobe stock. And so Adobe stock is just, I kind of talked about it in chapter 1. It's one of those resources that you can use for different stock media, such as like videos, fonts, different media like images that Adobe provides. And some of them you have to pay for, some of them you get for free. But this is one of the stock items that I've used with Adobe. And so these are all my recent files. And so Adobe gives you preset document types. And so up top here are those different document presets. And so what I mean by presets. So presets meaning preset details such as the width, the height, um, even the orientation. They kind of have it already provided if you need somewhere to start. And you can, of course, always customize that. And I'll show you that in a second. But they have different presets for different types of projects that you're working on. So if you're working on something for mobile, they have different document presets for different mobile devices. See, even Apple Watch, Samsung, iPhone, iPad Pro. And so if you notice, they all have different document sizes. And so widths and heights, they're all a little bit different. There are also presets for web projects. So here are a few of those. Again, different widths and heights. Anything for print. Here are those presets for that. Film and video, and art and illustration. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the print one. And notice that when I clicked on print, I want you guys to pay attention to the details in this area. So I'm gonna go to web. Notice those details kind of change. Print, those details kind of change. And so those details in particular that changes is that color mode. And if you remember in chapter 1, we talked about those different color modes for different types of projects. So anything for print, you have to use, well, it's best to use a color mode of CMYK, whereas anything for like screens, web, computer, your phone, that color mode RGB. So even if I go to mobile, notice that color mode is RGB. And so that's a part of those presets that they automatically give you. So you don't, it kind of takes out the guessing game, something you don't have to worry about. But again, you can customize those presets. And so to do that, it's really easy. Here's where you name your document. And then you can adjust the width and the height. You can also change the measurement metrics type. So I have mine in pixels right now, but you can have it in inches if you like. So if you wanted your document to read in inches instead, or even millimeters, centimeters, meters, picas, points, whatever you prefer. That orientation, so orientation meaning landscape, portrait. Is it vertical? Is your document going to be vertical or is it going to be horizontal? For sometimes, if you remember in art, they used to say hot dog, fold your paper hot dog, or hamburger. So that's just that orientation. And then artboards. You can set how many artboards you like to have on your document as well here. And then you have some additional information such as your bleed lines, something really good, especially if you're working for something on a project like you're making, let's say, a business card and you're sending it out to a manufacturer and they have certain bleed line requirements. This is how you adjust that. So the top, the bottom, the left and the right. I'll go ahead and set some bleed lines just so we can see. And then, of course, that color mode resolution here, which we call roster effects. So you can have a 300 ppi, which is usually the best, the highest resolution. The higher the resolution, the better the clarity, the quality looking of the picture of the image. Um, so let's do 300. And pretty much everything is just simple. We're just gonna keep it simple. You can kind of mess with some of the advanced options if you like. So if you go to like more settings, you can do that, but we're just gonna keep it simple. And so once you have everything set to the way you like, I'm gonna go ahead and change this just so you can see. Go ahead and hit create. And notice here are I like to call them sheets of paper, but they're called canvases. So here are those canvases. So if you remember, I had selected 3 artboards. So those are those 3 artboards. I changed it, if you also remember, to landscape, that orientation. So they're wide, horizontal, and then those inches too. So you can kind of see. You can also see those bleed lines, which is this red little line that's around. Those are your bleed lines, and you can adjust your bleed lines to whatever inches that you need. I just clicked anyone just so you can see, but those are those bleed lines. And so that's how you create a new document with the appropriate settings for either print and on-screen artwork.